stuck with the worst one.
Did you say you made an educated fucking wish?
They call me the Merc with the Mouth. They don't call me Truthful Timmy, the blowjob queen of Saskatoon.
One more word. Please give me one.
Gubernatorial.
What's up, everybody? And today we're taking a look at Lack and Luster. Oh, actually no. Sorry, I mean Deadpool and Wolverine. So, starting off, here they are. SH Figuarts, Deadpool and Wolverine. Decided to do them as a pair review since I'm going to be pretty stacked as far as reviews go this week. Plus, I have two commissions. One of them is a secret. One of them is for someone off Insta who asked me to do a Lego minifigure custom for them. So, here we have Deadpool and Wolverine by SH Figuarts. And, you know, while they look cool, there's a reason I called them Lack and Luster. If you're wondering, this one's Lack, because he's lacking. And here's Luster, because while this is a beautiful, lustrous figure, he's also lacking a little bit, but, yeah. Right off the bat, I am going to say, I'm keeping Deadpool, for sure. Wolverine, sorry buddy, but, you're getting sold. I just didn't really enjoy this figure as much when I first opened him up and took a look, but, you know, that happens sometimes. But anyway, let's take a look at the packaging. So we'll take a look at Wolverine's packaging first. For the most part, the packaging is the same for both. Got the Bandai and Namco there. You know what, I'll bring in Deadpool too, just to do it all at once. Because why not? So you got both Bandai logos there. They both got this kind of like text right here. This one says Deadpool, this one says Wolverine. But it is pretty much the same little bio kind of thing there. Yeah, nice look at Deadpool here. Nice look at Wolverine there. And got the, you know, logos and whatnot on the box. On the sides here, on the sides here, got the Wolverine and Deadpool logos there. Names and whatnot. And the art does carry around the back here. Then on the back, you got a nice look at the figure and all of its contents. And you can pretty much see why I call, you know, this Wolverine figure Lack. You can see it clear as day. Oh boy, this is going to be... I did not want to hate on these figures, but it seems like I'm going to have to do a little bit. Got a nice look at the figures right there. Top of the box. Nothing too crazy, just logos and whatnot. Bottom, nothing really crazy at all. So, let's get these guys opened up. And here are the figures straight out of the box. And for the most part, they do honestly look really good.
Oh, Hasbro, you just can't beat the Japanese, you know? When you go import, you get what you pay for. And I look damn good, don't I?
Alright, Deadpool. We'll get to that. We'll start with Wolverine first, so Deadpool can... Love when that happens. But anyway, yeah, we'll start with Wolverine first since Deadpool needs to collect his thoughts and kind of calm down a little bit. So, starting off with here, Wolverine. Now, this is the details and sculpt segment, so we'll go over the details of Wolverine, then we'll do Deadpool next. First off, I'm going to say is, the color of the yellow appearing on camera right now, just because of my light, it's making it kind of like a highlighter yellow, which is very strange because he definitely is more just like kind of like a drab yellow, like a straight up yellow. I don't know if I can turn off my light real quick to show. Yeah, he is more of just like a yellow, but for some reason he's coming off like a highlighter, which is strange. But let's take a look here. So his boots are nice and picked out with blue and black there. I think overall he's sculpted super nice. Got some paintwork right there. Love the texturing and whatnot. Got some blue there on the legs and all around here. He has a very strange articulation system that we will get into. It's more so like the Naruto figures articulation, which is kind of strange. But He has some very nice detailing going on around here. One thing I can say is he's painted super accurately. Not a single detail was missed. Very nice painted gauntlets right there. And everything you can see. A little bit of the kind of stamp thing peeking out, which I will get to. Yeah, everything's nicely sculpted and painted up, and it does look really nice. I love the gunmetal trim there on the shoulder pads. I overall love it. At least the look of it I love. Definitely could have used some shading and maybe some better choices. I know they probably couldn't really do too much due to licensing, which I will also get to. But overall, he does look really, really nice. And as far as head sculpt goes, that is a pretty nice looking head sculpt all the way through. I think they did a pretty good, decent likeness there, at least for the mouth section, to Hugh Jackman. And yeah, it's sculpted all the way around very nicely. One thing I am not happy about, and I know it looks like that might be shading around there, but that is just simply shadows, because when I shine the light on it, it's just drab yellow. So there is no shading at all, which is one of my problems with it. That is the big problem, no shading. Another problem is articulation, but I'll get to that. Another problem is accessories, but I'll also get to that. But as far as detail goes, here's one of my other problems. He just has this stamped on his back. And even when you, like, cover it up, it's fine. You know, it's fine to have this cover up. But then now you have him, like, kind of, like, crunched back a little bit. So if I just were to put it in its normal position, which should be that, and turn it around, you can see the stamp underneath. Like, they could have raised it a little bit, and honestly, they could have not had it there at all, because, alright, look, I'm going to show you something. So you saw that stamp, right? Here's Deadpool. There's nothing. There's no stamp. There's nothing even on there at all, even though it looks like there's something on it. There's nothing. All around, Deadpool does not have any sort of, you know, anything at all on him, and that just fell off. Oops, let me get that back on. But yeah, Deadpool has like nothing like that on him at all anywhere. And honestly, I love that. You know, that's perfectly fine by me, because I would not want to see it. But yeah, it is nowhere on to be seen on Deadpool, yet on Wolverine, it's just there, like, bright as day. I really seriously don't understand why they did that. They could have just had it off, just like with Deadpool. It would have been fine, but I honestly really don't understand that at all. And plus, mine has this like little blemish up at the top of the head. And I don't know, the color of the nose there just does not really match with the regular yellow. But overall, the eyes are painted pretty well. But yeah, I do think Wolverine is sculpted super well. But he does have lots of issues that I will also get into. But that is one of the main issues as far as like, and he doesn't like to stand either. But that is one of the main issues that I have with the Wolverine figure, at least.
Can finally do me next. Well, that came out wrong, or did it?
Okay, buddy. Don't need to be too zesty now. I'm here now. I'm getting to you. Alright, so, Deadpool. Right out the gate, I absolutely love this Deadpool figure. I have not had, or, you know, had the pleasure of picking up the other SH Figuarts Deadpool figures. I wanted to, but they shot up in price, so I was just like, nah, I'm good. I'll just wait. And then now here it is, Deadpool. And, you know, these Deadpool figures have been, I wouldn't call them controversial. I'd bit more so just call them, like, very weird in the way that they did them. Because the first Deadpool didn't come with any guns at all, which was weird. I don't even think that one even came with holsters either. Oh well. And then the Deadpool 2 figure came out. Came with the guns, holsters, and everything. But the color was, like, a bit strange. It was, like, darker. Because the first Marvel Legend, not Marvel Legends, oh my god, Marvel Legends have been a big talk recently, so that got stuck in my head. But with SH Figuarts here, the original Deadpool was, I believe, more so this color, and then the Deadpool 2 one was like a darker color. But that Deadpool 2 one came with lots of guns, lots of different ones, and, you know, variations. I believe they had ones where the bullet was shooting out, which was pretty cool. They had one where the smoke was coming out of the gun, and they had regular ones, and they came with holsters to put the guns in. I will talk about accessories with this guy soon, and guns are going to be a big topic of discussion, and some of the ideas that they chose to do with this figure. But overall, I'm happy to say that the colors and the sculpt on this Deadpool specifically, I absolutely love, and I'm just going to angle my camera here so that way I can get it in a better shot. But again, I'm happy to say that I really do enjoy this Deadpool figure, so let's go over it. He has very nice sculpt work going on around here. He does have the same problem as the Wolverine figure. I do wish there was some shading on it, just to kind of make it feel a little bit more realistic, because this does feel very toyetic in its color. But, you know, he was brighter in the movie, so I'm not really going to complain that much. I just wish there was a bit of a wash over it, just to kind of, you know, make him feel a little bit more realistic in a sense. But his shoes are sculpted super well and painted very beautifully. They definitely did some, you know, a good job, a good enough job, color matching right there. He is missing a lot of gold on parts where they should be gold, which does kind of suck, and I will go over every single little part that should be gold. Yeah, he has this nice little holster thing on the side there. Very nice sculpt work all the way through and through. Nice little gold bits right there. Everything. He does actually have the side pockets, so that's something I don't have to sculpt out like I had to do with the Legends version. Even though I really do like the Legends version, that was just... How could you miss that detail? It was just unfortunate that that was a missed detail. It is a very nicely done belt buckle and belt in general. Very, very perfect and accurate. It is very nicely... I really do love how the black is like this like matte finish. It just feels super nice to the touch. And of course you got those little thingies there. And it's sculpted super nice. He does feel a little bit buff. Don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if he's supposed to be this buff, because he kind of looks like he has boobs a little bit. Just like buff. He has a really buff chest. You know, I'm not trying to get too weird here about this guy, but he's sculpted very nice. Interesting that they decided to do the kind of design that his suit has here, like this around the neck. I do find it just a little bit strange to have it around there. Just kind of throws me off a little bit, but you know, that is just me. I got the collar there sculpted around really nicely. I really do love how the SH Figuarts Deadpool figures had the shoulder pads on top here like this. It just makes it feel a little bit more seamless and fluid in a way, if that makes sense. Very nicely sculpted arms and everything, and of course you got the nicely sculpted gloves here with the, you know, gold and everything on them. They're painted and sculpted super nice. A little bit of a blemish right there. I'm not surprised I'm seeing some blemishes here and there. They usually don't bother me too much, but these are import figures, so I'm expecting a little bit of higher quality. But overall, I can't complain, honestly. You know, sometimes it happens. It's not really a big deal to me. I usually paint my figures and customize them anyway. As for the head sculpt, beautifully done head sculpt. This thing is on point. It is perfect. I got nothing bad to say about it. Sculpted super beautifully. Looks one-to-one with the movie. And I absolutely love it. I got the shoulder strap here. And one thing I will say that I like that they did on the figuarts Deadpool, aside from the Marvel Legends, is this strap is sculpted on the body, so when you're moving them around, you're not worrying about like having like a strap just bending in front of him. Although when you do like pose him, it does break the sculpt a little bit, which does kind of suck, but I'd rather have the sculpt be broken rather than having just this strap that just keeps bending every time you pose him around. Now I want to talk about paint gripes with Deadpool here. Wolverine had his own fair share, but this Deadpool's missing a lot of gold. So he's missing gold on these buckles here, which those should be gold. He's missing gold on here. It kind of looks gold, but it's like this very strange color. It's a very strange color. It should be more kind of goldish. This buckle here, I don't know if it is painted gold. It's really hard to tell, but that definitely should be gold. That should be gold if it doesn't look it already. He's missing gold on this little cuff there and there. He's missing the little gold bit on the bands on the arms. And he's absolutely, I don't know how they missed this, but he's missing gold here, right there. They have it on that one, but they don't have it on the other two on the waist, which kind of sucks. And also the black paint here is a little bit off the sculpt on both sides, which kind of sucks, but what can you really do? I know what I could do. I could paint them, but if I paint those one part's gold, I'm going to paint every part on it that is already gold, because my gold is a bit of a different type of gold than this. So I might honestly just end up not worrying about it, just because I was hate to color match. Then moving to the back here, everything's all good, except for the back, like his back. So the shoulder strap, they just decided to not finish the paint job, I guess. And there's a part right here. You see how this black section goes over here like that? They completely missed it. Come on, focus. Completely missed it over here. The sculpt is there, but it's just not painted. I don't know why they did all that. It would make sense if a small section here wasn't painted, because the swords will cover that up. But they just didn't finish the paint job, which I find just a bit strange to me. But other than that, absolutely love the sculpt work and the paint work for the most part on Deadpool. It's a beautiful figure, and I'm absolutely happy to have put it in the collection.
Sounds like someone's losing their job.
So, aside from the sculpts and the figures looking pretty good for the most part, let's take a look at the articulation.
Hold on, don't you mean accessories?
Shut up. So, starting off with Wolverine, you of course do get 2 open hands straight out of the box. You do also get a pair of 2 fists. You do also get 2 kind of open gesture hands. Really not too different from the open hands you already get inside the box. And you cannot have a Wolverine figure without claws, so you do get a pair of fisted claws. And you do get a pair of open hand claws. As for heads, of course you do get this one out of the box. And then as for the only other head he does come with, yep, you heard me right, I'll talk about my grievances at the end. He comes with this teeth grating kind of angry expression head, which I think is honestly pretty great.
Please, let me talk about my accessories.
Sorry, Deadpool, but the last time I let you review anything about any of your figures, the review ratings were low, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
Oh, you're so unfair.
So first off, for the hands here, of course you do get the open hands, kind of relaxed open hands out of the package, and get ready because Deadpool has a lot of hands. Next up, of course you do get a pair of fists. Now you do get a pair of weapon holding hands, but they don't seem to be going on my figure. I've tried to put them in, they just don't go in, which is just really, Really, really weird. I'm gonna have to try and fix that, hopefully. That is really unfortunate. And you do get a pair of these kind of fist hands with the little dagger things that are on his chest. You have those coming out of his fists, which are, you know, pretty much little weapons. Also, I am going to mention I did end up getting, being able to get the jerk-off hands, actually, oh, my bad. I meant the weapon-holding hands, not the jerk-off hands, but the weapon-holding hands. So they are now able to go in. Unfortunately, I had to kind of cut away some of the plastic on the inside to actually make them fit. So there they are on the figure now. And of course, customary with any Deadpool figure, you do get trigger hands. You do also get a pair of thumbs up hands. And much like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, you do get some pointer fingers with Deadpool here. And interesting enough, you do get the heart hands with Deadpool. And you do get these kind of like very flat, splayed out hands. And for the last of the hands, you do get these, you know, kind of gesture-ish looking kind of open hands. Now, Deadpool here does come with eye accessories. He doesn't exactly have, you know, interchangeable heads, but he has interchangeable eyes. So the first set that you get is, of course, these neutral resting eyes. And you do get a set of these kind of slightly squinted eyes. You also get a set of, you know, more open eyes. And then you do get a pair of kind of happy-ish, or you can use these eyes for a couple different expressions. And then to exchange the eyes, they do give you this tool right here to do it with. So it is an angle there. And what you're going to want to do is you want to get pretty much in the kind of seam of it, preferably on the inside right here. And then you just simply go in, pop it out, and then it comes right out like that, and then you can switch the eyes in and out, and it should work out perfectly fine for you.
Thanks to the very company that makes anime figures and from the very people who make the best stuff around, I can be as expressive as I want now without being buried by a bland expression. I feel like my true self, and I feel fucking fantastic.
Say that again?
But Deadpool seems a little bit bare in the weapons department. So I think we should start with his weapons. So bringing in Deadpool here, I will put him right over there. He can sit there for a second. And we'll take a look at the weapons. So as far as the first weapons go, you do get a little holster right here. And that is for baby knife here. So you do get the baby knife, which is done super well with this silver metallic paint, and you do get an interchangeable holster. Now, I do kind of wish that maybe you could have just put the baby knife in, but he does come packaged with the knife already in the holster, so you can take this piece out, and you can put this piece in like so to replace it, and then you will be able to put the knife in his hand, which I will show here in a second. But that is a thing you can do. So I'll keep the holster there on him for a second, and I will take a look at also he does, you know, so some of the other stuff he comes with. So you do get these gun holsters right here, and they're sculpted very beautifully in this black. Now coming to the figure here, you gotta match it up with the correct holes. So this one will go right here, I believe. It should. And it just snaps right on in. So there you go. Just pegs right into the thigh. Same thing with the other side here. Just take this, line up the pieces here. And then that should just snap right on in. So there you have the holsters on his thighs. And you can't have gun holsters without guns. So he does also come with two, what I believe are Desert Eagles. So you get two of those here. Definitely would have been nice if they were the gold ones, but those just kind of slide on in. And I will show them in his hands too as well. So these just slide right on in, like so. So there he has the guns on his sides. And then you can't have Deadpool without having some sword. Everybody likes swords. So of course you do get the sword sheath here. And they did miss the gold strip on the back there, which kind of sucks, but these are done pretty well. And I did not realize, but they did put the logoing actually on the swords. Definitely would have definitely was a nice touch. You know, I was looking everywhere on the figure itself to find the labeling, because since Wolverine liked to have it on his back for some reason, but actually it's right here. So yeah, very smart usage of it. And now you do have the hilts right here, which these swords are custom fitted for this specific Deadpool, which is super great. Wish Marvel Legends did that, but they didn't. And then you also do get 2 regular unsheathed swords, which are done in the super nice metallic. These things are done super well. Would have been nice if you could just put the swords in, like the Hasbro one. But again, you know, they just do this whole method where you can just take the top bits off to make it look like he took the mount, which kind of sucks, but anyway, it does peg into the back. There's a peg right there, and there's this peg right, well, there's this peg hole here, and there's a peg on here. Ooh, I am a little bit tired, but you just place that on in, and it does go in super smooth and super nicely. And yeah, there you go. That is pretty much Deadpool all put together with his weaponry on him. And then I will show how to basically attach these weapons. So to attach the weapons, I have the sword holding hands first in here. So the swords should just slide right on in to these hands. And they just slide right in super smoothly, no problems at all, even though I've had problems with these hands all night tonight. Please, okay, there we go. So there he is with the swords in his hands. Looks pretty nice. We'll definitely show them off better when I do the pose test, but there's the swords in the hands there. Then taking those out, easier said than done. I don't want to break anything. These figures have some issues, and there goes the hand. Ooh, fantastic. I'll just leave that off to the side. We'll just work with one hand for right now. At least Deadpool's known for losing limbs, but moving these out of the hands. I've had a whole heap of problems with these figures. Might just be my copies. Hoping that's the case. But I would really like to not break a figure today. Bringing in a baby knife, though, this will fit into these hands. Pretty decent, pretty snug. So there he is with baby knife. Looks pretty nice there. You could almost imagine he cut his own arm off, or I mean hand, cut his own hand off. But yeah, so that is pretty much the bladed weapons. So I will now show the guns. So with the gun holding hands on, we will take the guns straight out of the holsters, and then they should just go right on in pretty smoothly as best as possible, since this figure is loving to just not work with me tonight. So they do just go straight on in, and they went in actually pretty well. A lot easier than the swords went in. But there he is with his guns. They look pretty nice. Absolutely love it. But that is pretty much him with his weapons and everything. So now we'll take a look at the last thing he comes with.
Listen up, baby, because these guns ain't just for show. These bad boys pack a serious punch that even the mighty Hulk couldn't handle. One shot, and he'd be sniveling like a newborn. You don't mess with these little goobers. They mean business, and I'm the one holding the trigger.
And for the last accessory Deadpool comes with, he comes with Headpool. And I will do a comparison with the Marvel Legends one as well, and we will take a look at them. But Deadpool here is painted up pretty well. I do think his face is a bit flat in the front. Could maybe use a little bit of that nose coming out a bit more. But other than that, he's sculpted super well, painted super nice. I absolutely do love it. And he does have a spinning propeller at the top and everything. And he does come with this little plastic piece here where you take this end and you kind of shove it in there. I was having a bit of trouble getting it in the first time. That's what she said. But you kind of have to wiggle it on in. I don't like to do it in too much. That's what she said too again. But you just kind of put it in there. That's what she said again. My God, I need to chill out. But you just kind of do that, and then you clip it onto his arm. If it wants to clip, come on. My God, I feel like I'm gonna break everything on this. But you kind of get the idea. It kind of like clips on, so it makes it kind of look like he's kind of flying around. It's an interesting accessory. Would have I preferred other accessories? Yeah. But, you know, it's not a horrible accessory.
Wait. Are you seriously telling me I can't keep the cool guns that came with my old figure? Instead, I'm supposed to be happy with this useless ankle biter accessory? Are you f***ing serious right now?
So, here's the part of the accessories before I get into articulation that I just want to talk about with Deadpool. First of all, I don't recommend using the Deadpool thing because as you can see, there's a bit of damage on him now, which sucks. So there's a ding right there, if you can see that. And then there's some marks over here on the arm. Yeah, so he's damaged now on that arm, so I will never be using that accessory ever again. Whew. And what else? Yeah, so for the hands, top row, fine. But everything below here was a pain to get onto the wrist pegs. I ended up putting stress marks on some of the wrist peg, on the wrist pegs. And at least on like the first few hands I was doing. And they are just insanely tight. So I definitely recommend maybe heating up your figure or going in with a small X-Acto knife and just kind of cutting away a little bit at the little joints on the inside because, yeah, it's a little bit scary that I was almost basically about to break the joints on my figure just to put some hands on, and I really honestly shouldn't have to do that, and that shouldn't happen, but it almost did, and it was absolutely scary. So just make sure if you do get this figure, heat them up, or just take a look at the hands. If the hole looks pretty small, definitely maybe cut into it just a little bit, just to make sure the hands get on, because I almost broke this figure. And I know I should probably save some of this for the final thoughts, and I will re-go over it when I say my final thoughts on these figures. Definitely could have, gone without the Deadpool head, and maybe gotten the extra different gun variants from the Deadpool 2 SH figuarts. I think that would have been a lot nicer, because we only do get the one set of guns, and it would have been nice to have a set where the bullets coming out and of course the smoke's coming out of the gun. I think that would have been a lot better than just the guns we got, and with the addition of the Deadpool, because I know that's where a lot of the plastic and price went to. Not that I complain about SH figuarts prices. You get amazing quality and you pay for that amazing quality, but I just think that maybe that would have been a better choice. So, even though we're off to a bit of a rough and rocky start, let's take a look at the articulation. So, keeping in line with how the video's been, we'll start out with Wolverine. Now, the articulation's pretty much going to be the same all around for these guys, for the most part, but there are some limitations. As far as Wolverine goes, the head can look down about that far, can look up pretty much a decent bit. You do have full 360 at the top of the head here. And then, of course, you have some side to side, and there is a neck peg too, although it is a little bit stiff, but you can get that moving around. As for the arms, there is a butterfly joint that goes forward about that far, back about that far. You can kind of bring the arm out a little bit and maybe get some more range out of it. The arms can go up about that far, and the shoulder pad can accommodate. It is on a ball joint, much like some Dragon Ball figures. You do have full 360 rotation all the way around. Just gotta make sure that this piece makes its way around. Then you do have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go about 90 degrees, which is kind of unfortunate. That's just due to like all the sculpt work. Got your usual hinge and swivel on the wrists there. You got a diaphragm joint at the top and a waist diaphragm at the bottom. You can crunch forward about that far, and you can crunch backward about that far, and he does have some side to side. As far as the legs go, they kick forward about that far, back not so much. He's got that diaper articulation. He can split about that far. Does have a swivel at the thigh, double jointed knees that go all the way, and when you do bend them, it does kind of like come out a little bit, which is unsightly, but that's alright, I guess. And mine is a little bit loose. The foot can go forward, not at all. It can go back a decent little bit. There is, of course, some ankle pivots and a hinge at the toe. But that is pretty much it for Wolverine's articulation. Not bad, but definitely a bit hindered. As for Deadpool here, he definitely is the better out of the two when it comes to articulation. His head can go down pretty much all the way. Head can go up pretty much all the way. Does, of course, have the side to side, which is very, very expressive. Does have the neck joint, which is a lot better than Wolverine's, but you do get a little bit of gappage. And of course, you can do a full 360 with the head. As for the butterfly joint, it goes forward about that far and back a little bit, not too much. The arm can go up pretty much about, say, that far on that arm, and you can go up about that far on that arm, just due to those shoulder pads. So that is Deadpool's main limitation there. The arms do go a full 360. There is slight bicep swivel, nothing too crazy due to the shoulder pads. Double jointed elbows, which go much farther than Wolverine's, and of course the usual hinge and swivel and whatnot for the wrist. Then as for the torso, same deal. Got a diaphragm up here and a waist diaphragm right there. Goes forward about that far, and with the swords on, he goes backward about that far. But if I did take the swords off here, if they want to come off, oops, that just came right out, so I hope that did not break. But if I do just take the swords off, you can go back, actually not even that much further, so it doesn't really change much. But you can go all the way around with those, and side to side. And then as for the legs, it's your pretty much Spidey figuarts style of joints, which I much prefer over the diaper aesthetic. But it gives more range, so he can kick forward about that far, kick back pretty much all the way. He can do these splits only about that far, which kind of blows a little bit, but that's fine. He does have thigh swivel, double jointed knees that go all the way. And then as for the foot, they go up, not at all, back only a little bit, a little bit of ankle pivot there, and a toe joint. So Deadpool definitely has his own fair share of limitations, which does kind of suck, but Still, definitely more posable than the Marvel Legends one. So, without further ado, since we're done with pretty much everything, for the most part, let's do a pose test.
Hope you guys enjoyed the pose test I did. Unfortunately, due to some articulation issues and time constraints, we had to cut the video short, but some of the poses did make it on camera. Don't worry though, we're gonna see how tall I am next to my clone and some spider guy. Turns out, I'm 6'4" tall. That's what I'm working with here in the height department.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed that little pose test. Now, we're going to talk about the scale of both Wolverine and Deadpool here. And I'll just show off a few different scalings for these two. Oops, a little bit crooked off frame there. There we go. It's a little more centered now. Now, I'm going to compare them, first off, with their Marvel Legends counterparts. So, of course, here's the Marvel Legends Wolverine, and here's the Marvel Legends Deadpool. Now, both of these figures from SH Figuarts are definitely going to be a little bit smaller. That's just normal. When it comes to, Figuarts and stuff, they're just slightly below the section scale. I definitely think the Figuarts Deadpool is a massive improvement over the Marvel Legends, but that's not to say that the Marvel Legends figure is bad, because I actually do love the Legends one. I love both of these. Both of these have their own cool, unique things about them, and both of them are still super interesting figures, and I absolutely love them. I love both of these figures individually. I like that the Figuarts one can swap out the eyes and everything, and there's a whole heap of hands you can use. I love the Marvel Legends one just because it's a very nice figure. As for Wolverine though, to be completely honest, I feel like the Figuarts one is a bit of a downgrade. The articulation is kind of limited. The overall proportions, I think, are accurate for the most part. But then again, both of these guys are pretty much accurate for the most part. The Figuarts one just doesn't come with that extra head. And I think there just really isn't a whole lot I can really do with the Figuarts one. Posing wise and display ability wise, there's just not an awful lot I can really do, just due to the lack of that extra head sculpt. And sometimes a missing head sculpt can really make a difference when it comes to different poses and whatnot. And this is one of those instances. So out of these two, I absolutely prefer the Marvel Legends one. Marvel Legends absolutely killed it with their Wolverine, and he just looks amazing. Figuarts one has some good aspects, but overall, it's just the Legends one just did it better. And yeah, so it's gonna be hard for any other company, honestly, to beat them as far as the Wolverine goes. Not counting Hot Toys, because of course Hot Toys is always going to be the top tier for any character you're trying to get, for the most part. So taking the Legends figures away, gotta bring in another early 2000s superhero that was a very big part, and was also around the same time as the Fox X-Men for my childhood. And that, of course, is the man himself, Tobey Maguire, SH Figuarts, and is this even accurate to scale? I don't think so. I could be wrong, though. This could be pretty accurate to scale, but I'm not so sure. But that's the Figuarts one next to the Figuarts Deadpool Wolverine. And here is the Marvel Legends one next to the Figuarts Deadpool Wolverine. And not too sure, again, if this is all accurate or not. Pretty much just speculating if this is or not, but that is how they look next to the two Tobys. And that is pretty much it for a lot of the comparisons I want to make with these figures, at least. So I'll give it off to Deadpool here, and then we'll move on to the final thoughts.
Overall, I'm pretty pleased with this new figuarts figure. The paint job is generally great, I love having extra hands, and the articulation is impressive, considering the limitations. But there is one glaring problem. Where are my guns from the previous Deadpool 2 figure? I understand the reasoning behind the accessory change, but if you're going to give me more stuff, give me everything! Guns included. And let's be honest, my figure is definitely better than Logan's anyway. With these eyes, I might even pass for a U2's figure. Good job, Bandai.
So, as for my own personal final thoughts, we'll start with Wolverine. I think the sculpt work is great. I think the paint work is great. Not really too jazzed about his little tramp stamp at the back, but whatever. Head sculpt is pretty good for the most part. But he just has a lot of problems. Like, I don't know why they use the Naruto style of articulation for the hips. It's very strange. It's very limiting on a super detailed figure like this. He has a lot of points of articulation that are just kind of hindered quite a bit, which sucks, and he cannot stand on his own for the life of me. Try to get him to stand multiple times, just cannot. And the fact he has no Hugh Jackman head really sucks, and I feel like, missing the Hugh Jackman head, you should have at least added the sleeveless arms. As far as Deadpool does not have an accessory problem. He has a lot of accessories. Beautifully done weapons, although I wish the weapons would just go in the sheath themselves instead of having all these extra parts. I mean, Hasbro could do it. I don't see why SH Figuarts here couldn't do it. But I really love the hand accessories that come with Deadpool here. I love the guns and everything. It'd be cool if he came with a gold pair and maybe those other variants that we had with the Deadpool 2 version, which would be nice. He has his own limitations too as well, but he can definitely pose a lot better than Wolverine can, so that's a plus. The head pull accessory isn't terrible, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend using that clear piece because it did kind of damage the arms a little bit. Other than that, lots of great things I can say about this figure. There are some, pieces of paint, that could be picked out better, or, that needed to be picked out that aren't. But all in all, he's painted pretty well. I do like the shade of red, although it would have been nice if there was a little bit of a light shade on it, just a little bit. And I'm not really I'm not upset about Deadpool not having an extra head or anything, because he comes with all the eye plates, so you can still be very expressive with the same head, no matter what, and especially paired up with the hands. You can do so much so that there was a lot of poses I wanted to do, but this video has already been long enough, and I don't want to make it past an hour. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful figure. All in all, as far as both of them goes, there is lack and there is luster. And unfortunately, Wolverine was just lacking, so he's on the chopping block to getting sold off, just because I love the Legends version a lot better. Deadpool, you're staying in the collection, buddy. Really, really superb figure. Absolutely love it. Definitely could have been, a little bit more, but I'm happy with what we got. Other than that, that is pretty much it for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow my socials for more action figure related posts. And I'll see you guys